All right, we're on the last page of your 3.5 notes for Algebra 2. We are continuing from the front where it said we need to solve for x. You could do so by factoring. It's really your choice. So I guess I worded that wrong. You should factor until you get to the trinomial, and then we can plug that into the quadratic formula. So for this one, you're going to want to subtract the 1 over. So you've got x cubed minus 1 equals 0. And then this, hopefully you recognize this as the difference of cubes. So think of your orange sheet that we've studied before. So this will break down to x minus 1. And then we square the x, multiply these together with the opposite sign, and then square the 1, always positive. You're going to set both of these equal to 0. Well, you're going to set this one equal to 0, add 1 to both sides, and we get x equals 1. That's your real solution. For factoring this one, it doesn't factor. We've mentioned that before. So you can plug it into your quadratic formula program to get your solutions. And your solution is going to be negative 0.5 plus or minus 0.866i. Now you're only going to be able to graph this as an x-intercept because this is an imaginary number, but we'll talk about that at a later time. Number 10 is done pretty much exactly the same as number 9. These are perfect cubes. So this will give us a 2x plus 5 if you cube root them both. Square the 2x, multiply them together, use the opposite sign though, and square the 5, always positive 25. Set that equal to 0. Set 2x plus 5 equals 0. Can move over our 5, divide by 2, x equals negative 5 halves, which is negative 2.5. And then this one, again, you can use your quadratic formula program on your calculator. We plug that in. We've got a is 4, b is negative 10, c is 25. Going to get 1.25 plus and minus 2.165 with an I. So that's an imaginary number, so it's not actually an x-intercept. Number 11. Number 11, you're first going to bring over your 4. And you get x to the 4th minus 3x squared minus 4 equals 0. We've kind of done these before, and we've said since this is an x to the 4th, you would need x squared times x squared here. And then you could either do the star method with 1, negative 3, and negative 4. You could also do the quadratic formula program on your calculator if you prefer. Or you could do the add and multiply. So you want to come up with two numbers that multiply to give you negative 4 and add to give you 3. So negative 4, positive 1, set those equal to 0. And then you're getting x squared minus 4 is 0, x squared is 4. So x, if you square root, you get positive and negative 2. So that's 2 answers in one. And then over here, you're going to get x squared plus 1 equals 0. X squared is negative 1. When you square root that, hopefully you remember the square root of negative 1 is I. So plus or minus I. Again, this is going to be your only actual x-intercept when we go to graph them tomorrow. Number 12, bring over your 6x cubed. Make sure you put them in the right order. 3x to the 4th minus 6x cubed plus 12x squared is 0. all of these have at least 2 x's, and you can divide them by 3. So we're going to take out a 3x squared, and then we are left with this nice quadratic trinomial. So the outside part still gets set equal to 0. So we end up with x equals 0. 0 is 1 x-intercept. But then this one here, again, you could try to factor it, or you could just use the quadratic formula since it is a quadratic trinomial. So I'm going to do that. We get 1, -2, +4. It's not pretty. 1 plus or minus 1.732 with an I. 2 more. 13 is going to be super similar to number 11, where you've got x to the 4th and x squared, no x. So again, I'm just going to factor it here. X squared times x squared will give me the x to the 4th. And then numbers that multiply to give you -27 and add to give you -6. So -9 and +3. If you do x squared minus 9 equals 0, move over your 9, add it to both sides, square root, we get positive and -3. That is nice. If we do this one over here, we get x squared plus 3 is 0. Move it over to get x squared equals -3. We still have to square root, so we end up with x equals plus or minus. It's negative, so you can bring out an I. 3 doesn't break down, so we're just going to leave it as radical 3. And last one, number 14. Same exact idea. X squared will give us x to the 4th. Numbers that multiply to give you -45 and add to give you -4. We go -9 and +5. And again, set them both equal to 0. We have this exact same one over here, so I'm just going to drop down to my same answer. X equals plus or minus 3. Over here, you're going to move your 5 over by subtracting it, so x squared is -5. Square root. You have a negative inside of a square root, so you need to bring that out with your plus or minus sign, and then 5 does not break down, so it's going to stay in the radical. Like I said, we will be doing more with this, but hopefully factoring is familiar to you, you feel comfortable with it, and we will do more tomorrow. Have a great day.